Hi guys, so this video we will discuss some of the frameworks and libraries which you can explore if you are into Java and Spring Boot technology stack. So you can upskill yourself, you can create some POCs in these frameworks and libraries. So let's start. The first one is Quarkus. So you can really create, Quarkus microservices and try to play around it. It is really lightweight and it follows container first approach, due to which the speed, especially the boot time, is really fast if you compare it with Spring Boot application. So that's why it's really good. And it focus on the totally reactive style when developing the application. And if you see here, I will show you the performance, right? So if you see the boot plus first response time with Quarkus plus native with GraalVM, it's 0.016 second, which is really good. And if you compare with the traditional stack, it's up to 4 seconds. And while development, it is also giving you the live coding feature, which I really like it. So I created like one of the dummy application here. So this is like a Quarkus application, so I will not go into deep, but the best thing I explored is it also have feature now to run on virtual thread. So if you don't know about virtual thread, you can see my a Java video in which we created millions of virtual threads. So by this annotation or tag, you can really run your microservices, or inside that you can really run on virtual threads, which will increase your performance. So for example, let's say so if I will run this one, so you can really see it's running on the virtual thread 19, which is like runnable at the fork join pool. But if I remove this, and the best part is like I don't have to restart the application. As soon as I remove and I go to the postman, the changes will be reloaded. So now you will see like it is executor thread, right, not virtual thread. So you can control whether you want virtual or executor thread. And development is really fast because of that live reload feature. So that's what it's written here also. Live coding fast feedback loop was very useful when you are developing with Quarkus. So this is a dummy project, so you can go to the guides, and they have very good documentation, and you can create the APIs, you can implement GraphQL, you can implement basic authentication, you can connect with the database. So this is the first project you can do, like, for upskilling yourself in Quarkus. Second one is Vertx. So you can really explore Vertx to build the reactive application. It is not only framework, it is basically a complete toolkit which will give you all the methods function you need to create the reactive applications. So basically you can explore Vertex Web first. So with the help of Vertex Web, you can build web applications with Vertex, and it is very useful to write RESTful HTTP microservices, and you can explore all that thing. So basically it has support for everything when you use this dependency in your project. So you can try creating some of the microservices with Vertex, and it will really help you to understand how reactive workflow works, and how the event driven programming works, because they have like verticals in the Vertex framework. So we will not go deep into the architecture, but in this video I just want to tell, like, this you can do POCs on Vertex, which will really help you to upskill yourself in the reactive architecture. The third one is Resilience 4J. So Resilience 4J is basically a fault tolerance library. So you can integrate this with Spring Boot microservice also, and you can try to play around it and implement, circuit breaker. You can implement rate limiter. You can implement retry or bulkhead. So these all comes under umbrella of fault tolerance in your microservice. And with the help of implementing this, you will able to understand the deep concepts, why we need it, and how to do that. So it provides all of this. If you see, circuit breaker is there, retry is there, and rate limiter really helps when it is a DDoS attack. So DDoS attack is basically when someone is trying to bring your service down. So rate limiter is one of the ways to prevent a DDoS attacks. So you can give some limiter based on IP or based on the API keys. Like in some website, you would have seen, like, if you go with the standard plan, you can only hit this number of APIs. If you go with the like higher plan, you can hit these number of APIs, right? So all that things are configured using rate limiter. So you can put rate limiter based on IPs also. You can put rate limiter based on the HMAC or client keys, right, basically. So you can explore all this concept, and you can try to implement this even with the Spring Boot also. And this will really help you to understand what is fault tolerance, and it is really helpful when you're working in enterprise application. And then the fourth one is basically, if you have never worked on any reactive framework, right, but you are comfortable in Spring Boot, so try to do Spring Webflux. So Spring Webflux will help you to upskill yourself to the reactive core concept, like how it works. So you will get familiar with the syntax, architecture, right, and all that things. And when you will deploy, you will able to see like how it is working at the cloud level also. So Spring Webflux you should do before moving to Quarkus or Vertex, or you can even directly move to Quarkus and Vertex. That is not an issue. So you can learn in any way or in any sequence. But Spring Webflux is also good, and it have a lot of demand in enterprise applications. So you can explore that, create some POCs. You can even implement GraphQL, right? So the basic idea is you get familiar with the reactive stack. So that's why if you're comfortable in Spring Boot, try converting that Spring Boot application to the Spring Webflux to understand how this reactive stack works. And the last one is try to do or try to integrate your microservice with any of the NoSQL database. So there are a lot of NoSQL database like MongoDB, Couchbase, Cassandra is there. So MongoDB is in demand. So basically most of the applications are using MongoDB, and even Couchbase also, even Cassandra. But it's your choice. So you can start with MongoDB first. So you can create your free cluster in the MongoDB Atlas, right? And you can try to create some JSON documents, and you try to fetch or do CRUD operations with any of the microservice. If your microservice in Quarkus, Vertex, Webflux, Spring Boot, right? Anything. The idea behind this is so you will able to understand like how the NoSQL database works, and your thought process will change when you are designing the database, right? Because most of the times I have seen the people who are working on relational, they will not able to think how to scale NoSQL database, right? How to design your data in a way which will get stored in the JSON format, and how you can scale. So these NoSQL databases will really help you to do that. The last website I want to show is Product Hunt, because a lot of the times we get confused like what to do POC on, right? What product I can create. So this website is very good. So if you go here, so you can really see what domain you are interested in. So let's say if I'm interested in health and fitness, right? So I can go in health and fitness and see what type of products exist as of now, right? So you will able to really get a lot of ideas like what to build. So if you want to build some AI product, right? So I will go to AI here, and I can really see like if you see like there is voice AI, right? And then there is, we all know about GPTs and LLM. But if you see, there are a lot of wrappers now, right? So you have artist AI, legacy AI, swap face, AI powers, right? So this website really gives you an idea, right? Like what is working in the market as of now, because you can see the shout outs, you can see how many people are using it. So this website is really good, like when you are thinking of an idea, right? So best thing is I mostly see the engineering and development section. So here I really get to know like what is working in the market as of now. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more programming content.